Hello, everybody. We are those guys you hate.
Welcome to the show that encourages you to be your best self by not being like us.
My brother and I hopelessly search for nuance as we wade through wacky segments and crazy conversations.
If you can withstand the insanity, you might actually learn something.
Tyler, what are you going to be talking about this week?
Ryan, on this week's episode, Mel Gibson's bigotry, 16 years too late, and heebie-jeebies, canceled, or a fun phrase for the whole family. We find out. What about you, Ryan?
Those two are too closely related. This week, I give you something new to argue over as we discuss Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year and a Cold War invention that we really need to consider bringing back. All of this and more on this week's episode. Tyler, give me an example of you doing something stupid as a kid. Now, before you even answer that, I'll give you a moment to really think over. The purpose of me bringing this up is, I think almost by definition, as kids, we do things that are dumb. That's how you figure out what not to do, by making mistakes, yes?
Yeah, you have to push the boundaries to know what your limitations are.
Sure, and it's how you kind of, you know, like a blind person using a cane, they're not looking for the middle, they're looking for the outsides. Does that make sense? So you you got some bumps and some bruises along the way that hopefully forms you into, a good moral adult. So have you thought of anything? I've got one that's shameful.
Well, do you mean in the way, like I would, obviously talk back. I would push myself, like I would put myself in situations where I knew I could get hurt, but would want to do it simply because I didn't want to look like a big baby in front of people.
I think all little kids go through that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, well, here, I'll give you a very quick one and this one is shameful, okay? I think I've discussed on this show before where I was voted 5th grade class president, a big giant hurrah for everyone. I was then disbarred. I was, what do they call that when you're Richard Nixoned?
When you're impeached.
You're impeached, yes. Right. Which is funny because I got caught stealing a peach Jolly Rancher, dead ass serious, by this woman who worked at the after school care. So it was after school. A teacher gave us candy every day. She wasn't there that day, so we took it anyway, and we got caught. Now, this woman who worked for the after-school care.
Criminal behavior gets started.
That's it. Recidivism, man. That's how I got started. Now I'm selling meth.
Peach-flavored meth.
Peach-flavored meth. It's kind of like Breaking Bad, but better. So to make a long story short, me and this other kid got, caught. She brought us into a room and was yelling at us because I was so nervous. This is going to sound really weird. As she was yelling at the other guy behind her back, I pretended like I put my finger in her butt.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Get back at the man.
No, does that make sense?
It does.
Now,
it does.
I guess I was so nervous. It was nervous energy, whatever.
Sure.
And then only he could see me. I then pretended like it was gross and I was wiping it off.
Oh, wow.
This woman turned around right at that moment and thought because she had touched me and she happened to be black that I was being racist.
Oh, okay.
Because I had pretended to put my finger in her butt, I couldn't tell her that I wasn't racist.
Sure.
I had to sit there and suffer the shame. Kids do stupid shit.
Yeah. In that moment.
Should we bleep that?
No. Okay. In that moment.
I wasn't racist. I was just pretending to put my finger in her butt.
Yeah. But in that moment, rather than be honest, you just got to be racist,
I got to be racist.
You're a racist kid.
How do I explain this?
Yeah.
I was taught wrong. I'm a victim of my environment.
Sure.
I definitely didn't pretend to put my finger. So anyway, here's my point. We all do stupid shit. What is the tipping point? What age do you have to be where you see kids doing stupid shit and you're like, somebody needs to teach those kids a lesson? We were all those kids. I saw some kids pushing each other in a shopping cart. And all of a sudden you're like, what is wrong with these kids? They have no respect. I pretended to put my finger in that woman's butt. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
It had nothing to do with you being black. It was something worse.
He would have put his finger in anybody's butt imaginary. Damn it.
We're keeping that in because I'm feeling vulnerable right now, Tyler.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, in all fairness, you were, as you said, because of the anxiety of the situation, you were acting out.
That and I didn't understand real repercussions at that time. I thought
how you
everything
learn
was
them.
going to be fine. I was so cute. You know what I mean?
And they were fine.
No.
Like, why? What happened?
I got impeached, Tyler.
So what? And that's how you learn a lesson.
That was the highest level of my life. It's been a free fall since 5th grade.
Peaking in 5th grade.
Yeah, ain't
that's
that
unfortunate.
Right? Yeah, I got in trouble for that too.
Yeah.
But the problem is that, and you and I talk about this on air, off air. It's something that's important to us. What is it about being a human where you look at people who are younger than you and you say, you kids are insolent. You kids are idiots. You guys are irresponsible and you're lazy and you're nothing like my generation. My generation was great and you could learn a lot from us. I can't learn anything from you. Why is that so common?
Quite the persecution complex we have as humans. The things that we are accusing these people of is because these are the things that we see in ourselves. I'm sorry, guys. That's just how it works. We perpetuate this anger towards the younger generation because it's the exact same thing we did when we were the younger generation.
It's very interesting, and I find myself now trying to fight back against that. When my son shows me music, my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, this sucks. What the hell is this crap?
And that's it.
Sure.
And so did your parents think that of your music, and so did their parents think of their music, and all the way back to when they were banging rocks together, Ryan.
Ah, the Rolling Stones.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. That's a joke for the whole family.
How about that? And forget about that whole finger butt story.
Yeah.
My name is Ryan.
My name is Tyler.
And we are the guys who distance ourselves from that.
Yeesh.
Salutations, my Haitians, and a merry, happy holidays.
Happy everything to everyone.
Sure, I want everybody to feel good about everything that's happening. Tyler, I'm afraid to say Merry Christmas to people.
Merry Christmas, Ryan.
No.
Merry Christmas.
No.
Even to my Jewish brethren, even to my whoever celebrates Rwanda. I'm not Rwanda. Kwanzaa. Wow, I just pulled a Freudian slip to
golly,
end all
Tyler.
Freudian slips. Who celebrates Kwanzaa? I don't even know if it's a real holiday, but if you do, happy that.
What was that?
I said Rwanda. It's supposed to be Kwanzaa. It was just
Kwanzaa.
It was a little slip, but it wasn't meant to be insulting.
It's a celebration of lights, and you.
But I don't know who celebrates it. I've never met anybody who celebrates it.
You know what? Week in review. I'm assuming that it is an African religious holiday.
Well, reach out. I would love to know more about it. I keep hearing about it, especially in Futurama. Love that show, Kwanzaa Bot. But I don't know anything about the holiday, nor, as I said, anybody who celebrates it.
We look things up on the show. We don't have to wait for somebody to do the work for us. I will just say right now, week in review.
I'm sorry for wanting to reach out to my fans, Ryan. The many, many fans.
Sure. Well, I will say this. The holidays are all about tradition, Tyler. And we have traditions in our family. I'm glad that you brought up Kwanzaa. When we buy gift card, not gift cards, when we buy greeting cards for each other in the family, what is our family tradition, Tyler?
In our family, we always buy the greeting cards that do not apply with the situation in front of us.
Now, I like that for many reasons, because it's whimsical, it has our vibe to it, and also, most importantly, when you're going to buy for a certain holiday, everybody is there for that one thing. You can go to the section that nobody is in.
Exactly.
And it's fun where we kind of compete to see who can get the wackiest of cards.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Some of them come in Spanish, and if you saw how American my mom's side of the family is, that would just crack you up.
Hilarious. Often they are passing on sorrow or condolences. Now, for this year, for Christmas, I happened to buy myself a 12-pack of Kwanzaa greeting cards. As a matter of fact, I have them right here. Hold on.
All right, let's see.
Kwanzaa greeting cards. It's a matter. The thing is,
measure.
I almost have like a checklist of certain celebrations that I've never used before. I've never used Kwanzaa.
It's really weird that I would bring up Kwanzaa, and here you are with Kwanzaa cards.
It is the Kwanzaa time of year, Tyler. So I went to go buy these. I went to buy a couple of these newspapers, which I use as wrapping paper, and I'm standing there in line, and I'm paying for it, and the girl comes over to bag it, and she is black. And she picks them up and she's looking at them and she is gazing at me and I can't return her eye contact because I'm assuming that she thinks that I'm doing something nefarious with them.
To a certain degree, sure. This belief that she has held her entire life that she may hold true to her heart, dear to her heart, and she realizes that it's all summed up in these pile of greeting cards that you're holding in your hand. That is nothing more than a joke to you, sir.
It is not. I have gone from religion to religion, from sympathy to
She
sympathy.
doesn't know that.
Well, I felt like I needed to explain myself. I am a man.
Did you?
No.
Oh my God.
I had my hat on and I just stared at that ATM pin pad like it was a raft in the middle of the ocean.
I love the image in my head of you standing there awkwardly explaining our family tradition to this woman.
I love black people. And I don't, that's my problem with this show. I think of us as such loving people, as such understanding people, but not, sometimes we get ourselves in trouble. Now, there are people out there who do love us, and there's two people in particular at this time of year whom I would like to call out. Drucifer, he's working intertwined with us throughout this show. I definitely want to shout him out. And also, I got some show-specific stuff from one main show listener,
one of our biggest fans.
One of our biggest fans who wrote, amongst other many nice and touching things, to TGYH, thanks for many enjoyable hours spent listening to your podcast, learning things about you, myself, and the world at large. Which, that's terrifying. If you're learning anything about the world at large from this show, I mean, just turn yourself in. And she also sent over this. Douche. It's a douche button.
It is a douche button.
And I think it also proves that if you do anything long enough, it turns into a song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Let's find out. Not a very good one.
Not a great song.
No.
I don't know that it's going to crack the top 100, but Kat, Drucifer, we love you just like we love everybody else out there, but the support feels so good, Tyler. It makes me happy, and when I get happy, we do the Depression Index. No one cares.
What the Depression Index
is a machine that I built with my hands. And we crank it up to let you know how down we are. Tyler, how are you doing this week, bruh?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, we're gonna go celebrate the day with family, and we're gonna drink a little drink and eat a little eat.
Noche buena.
Yes, correct. Noche buena, whatever, however they say it. But
what are you drinking tonight, Tyler?
I haven't decided yet.
Absinthe?
But I'm no absinthe. But I probably am going to leapfrog from one varietal to the next as I do a little bit of wine and then I do a little vodka.
What is a varietal?
A varietal is what it's going to sound like when I try to say varietal later today.
Oh,
a varietal.
Varietal. Papa needs a cuss.
And I'm very much looking forward to it. We get together with the family.
I am too.
That leads me into session 149 theme, Ryan, the holiday season. We are very fortunate where we get to say we are looking forward to going to our family's house to eat that dinner and drink that drink and enjoy ourselves. But there are so many people out there that do not get to say that. Some of the unfortunate ones who are going to go spend time with family today, and it's going to be a fucking shit show.
It's true.
Your bigoted uncle is going to say those stupid ass things.
Hear him out, though. Hear him out. He's got a lot more experience in this world than you do.
It's bigoted. It's bigoted experience.
That was
right?
okay in the 70s.
What are you going to time travel?
Please.
Well, guys, know that we are your family and we love you. And when somebody starts saying that hateful, intolerant shit, just try to express love to them all the same, as difficult as it is. And might I even go one step further? You people are lucky, much like us, because you get to be with your family. To those out there that are listening that actually don't have anybody to spend the holiday season with, know that we love you and we love you.
We're glad that you're spending it with us.
Yes. Thank you for coming here.
Being lonely it's a killer. So I don't know. Is there any sort of advice that you could give to people for being lonely other than put yourself out there a little bit? You know, like get involved in things that other people are already there.
Yeah, I would say find a community about something that you love. You know, for me, like
good advice.
Video games, tabletop games. I have a group that I play Dungeons and Dragons with.
Table tennis.
It's not much, but it's something. Yeah, if you're the athletic type, I guess.
I mean, if you think ping pong is the athletic type, then we really...
There's some running.
We need to
There's
sit
some
down.
running.
What are you, Forrest Gump? No, Tyler, that's good advice.
We love you guys.
We love you, and this is a tough time of year for a lot of people. So
Very much so.
All right, crank that thing, dog.
This week I am at a 4.
Spin
1, 2, 3, 4. Number of fingers I have left.
Not enough. Get it up, Tyler. I said in the intro that we are going to discuss Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year. Any ideas?
It obviously, because you brought it up, it obviously has to be ridiculous.
Well, I'm sure that some people will find it to be ridiculous, and also keep in mind that I'm bringing it up on the Depression Index, so maybe that could just throw something out there. Usually these Word of the Years, it's like selfie was a couple years ago. It's a word that all of a sudden has seen a huge uptick. Mindful is a great one. It's kind of in that same genre, but on the opposite side, gaslighting, Tyler. Gaslighting is the word of the year because search interests in the word have exploded in the last 5 years. What is your initial take on gaslighting?
Well, it's a tactic that is used constantly, so it is good to hear that people are trying to study up and learn the strategy for themselves so they can be on guard from it.
And tell people what gaslighting means.
Well, gaslighting is when somebody tries to convince you that what you actually believe isn't real, almost to the extent that you stop knowing what is real and what is not. What is a story in my head and what actually happened.
You start questioning to some degree your own sanity because the version of reality that they're presenting does not match up with yours.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in this realm? Have you ever been in this area?
I am almost certain that I have, but so very often I feel like I'm doing it to myself. I have self-gaslighting is something that is real and that I am very susceptible to.
I was going to say that I do this on a daily basis, and I'm not even joking. The reason that I want to talk about it is not to point in the face of certain gaslighters and be like, you're a bad person.
We could do that if you want.
We could. Well, maybe next week, Tyler. Let's focus on what I got here.
Gotcha.
I think what's very interesting about this is to anytime that you hear an opinion contrary to what you believe, if you label that person a gaslighter, you are now never going to advance from where you are. Sometimes it's very helpful to take other people's opinions and their prism in which they see everything through and really question, hey, am I responding to what's happening here, or am I just living out negative thoughts in my own head? It's a balance. Now, of course, you don't want somebody to be abusing you and telling you that your emotions aren't valid. That's obviously not the case, but
they totally are.
You should be questioning yourself and asking yourself, why do I feel this way?
But don't let yourself question whether your emotions are valid, because they are. They always are.
Unless you've been drinking. You know you get crazy when you've been drinking. This week,
You're so crazy.
you know what? Jesus, happy birthday. I am at a 2 this week. 1 and 2.
I hope the light carries you,
Thank
Ryan.
you. My fingers are back from the dead, Tyler.
They're just taped on.
Yeah. Oh, well, forget that I said anything. And that is the Depression Index. I feel like we wrapped that up just nice and... I feel like
with a bow on top.
Siri is gaslighting me. She is always there telling me that she can't understand what I'm saying.
So stop wearing her on your wrist.
I'm pretty sure she's giving me wrist cancer. Tyler,
another reason to take her off.
Speaking of Siri and all the terrible, horrible AI things that she's doing to me.
Okay.
Do you know how they keep updating the phone so that they phase out old ones? I mean, this is something.
Yes, of course.
I believe Apple had to pay money for this, right?
Well, that one, it was because they were slowing down older models of phones without alerting the people that own them.
So you would become frustrated with it. We live in such a microwave society that if I have to wait 7 seconds for a photo, I can't stand for this. I got to go spend $1,500 on a new phone.
Yep.
Okay. Now that they've gotten called out for it, as they should have. That's inappropriate. What they're doing now, I think, is even more sinister. I believe that what this son of a bitch, Steve Trabajo, is now doing is he's now making it so that the flashlight turns on my phone at all times, making me look like I'm 100 years old.
This is a battle you're going to fight, huh?
I can't have that,
This is
Tyler.
the battle you're going
I already
for.
look like a doddering old man who's shitting in a bag. I can't have the flashlight on my phone on while it's in my pocket.
Ryan,
Everybody keeps calling me a boomer.
Nobody forces you to shit in a bag. That is your decision.
What if
we
I
keep asking you to stop?
What if I need it later,
you
Tyler?
missed the bag?
I'm a bathroom hoarder. You know that about me. Now, why is it so easy to turn my flashlight on? Who needs their flashlight like that?
First of all, old people.
Yeah.
Second of all,
When they're reading menus.
Second of all, I'm caught kind of in a crossroads here because I do understand what you're saying, and maybe it is some nefarious plan by Steve, as you call him, Trabajo, to make you look old. But is
From the grave.
Is it possible that this is just you becoming old and you're actually doing that to yourself?
Do you not have that problem?
No,
really?
never. No.
Real? Well, you've got a young ass, Tyler. Good on you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about something else because I'm getting angry. Speaking of Christmas presents, that rocks the Casbah, Drucifer. All right, Tyler. Please, as you can see, I have sent you 2 emails. Mm-hmm. Please open up the first one. That's what Drew Got Mail is. Now, please tell the audience what you're looking at.
Well, I have a...
What do you think that is?
I'm looking at a don't open one, and it's a testicle sack by itself.
Commonly known as?
A ball sack.
A scrotum, Tyler.
A scrotum.
Come on.
Scrot.
You know teachers play this for their students.
Sure. Why am I looking at this?
Because what you are looking at, Tyler, is something that was invented by America during the Cold War, Tyler.
Okay.
Now, what that is, it is a fake scrotum, as you said, or forgive me, a ball sack, as you so classically put it, which was developed in the 1960s, and that ball sack, go ahead and open up the second one, would have
a detonator, a timer,
a radio inside.
Okay.
Now, can you imagine how that would be helpful?
Yes, I absolutely can. Have they never heard of the jail pocket, Ryan?
Well, that is like a jail pocket extension, right? That's like a jail pocket XL.
So what do they do with their actual balls?
Well, this was the idea behind it. Soviet guards would not target the testicles too closely during body searches. I mean, in some weird way, that makes sense, right? Like you're just nobody's hiding something in their balls.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
The idea was the fake scrotum was molded from latex based on the cast of a real specimen and carefully sprinkled with hairs. Do you see the hairs on there?
I do see the hairs.
Now, what that suggests to me is if they were trying to make that look as realistic as hell, manscaping, not a big deal in the Cold War.
No, but it's weird how
That's
the hair,
a longy dongy.
the hair is only at the top and it's all super long, but also kind of spread out.
Haven't you noticed?
Weird.
That scrotum hair always, grows towards the light. So here's the idea. The agent put the dummy scrotum over his real scrotum.
The dummy scrotum.
The dummy scrotum.
Sure.
With the radio inside. Now this idea was never put into practice, and I want you to use your critical thinking skills here. Why do you think that this was never put into practice, Tyler?
Because the guys didn't want to wear them. They didn't want like a cold metal object pressed intimately up against their testes.
Apparently, these soldiers and I have a different idea of a nice time, but the idea...
They were prudes.
Listen, if one person ever was caught with these things, cutting open your scrotum would have become part of the standard procedure for every strip search moving forward.
Oh.
And nobody wants a cut open scrotum. That's it.
You don't have to cut open the scrotum. You just do what all men should be doing and just feeling around
your
there.
Scrotum, yeah.
You got to make sure. You got to roll them around and make sure that everything's okay.
You got to give them the eyeball test, Tyler. You got to really look at them.
Yeah, but much like the other jobs that we've talked about, having to watch like those terrible photos as a police officer.
Sure.
You really got to look into the person who gets involved into checking guy scrotums.
All right, get the ball cutting guy.
Oh, God.
Get the ball slicer. Bring in the lefty.
And that, Ryan, is whatever the fuck that was.
You got mail. Come on, Tyler. Or Drew got mail, whatever you prefer.
Gross.
Now, Tyler, I'm going to let you be the boat captain here. I don't know how deep we are on this thing.
Coming up on 40 minutes, Ryan.
All right, so do you want to do what the fuck now? Do you want to take a break and do what the fuck? What do you want to do, Tyler?
Yeah, let's just get what the fuck out of the way, and then we'll end it a quick second half with a weekend review.
What the fuck me in my ear holes, Tyler?
Ryan!
Yes, sir.
We have another What the Fuck, this one themed The Division Edition.
The Division Edition.
Things that divide us, Ryan. Things that divide us in our society from one another. Okay? Are you ready for this?
Isn't society set up all sorts of little landmines here to get us to argue with one another?
Well, I'm going to hit the obvious ones, Ryan.
Okay.
Social media.
Sure.
Or as Ryan and I have taken to calling it, a failed experiment.
Really? I call it my deity. Yes, we don't do social media, Tyler. That's one of the problems with this podcast.
I just meant social media as a whole we see as a failed experiment, as a failed science experiment.
It depends upon what you were trying to prove with that experiment.
That we're dumb?
Yeah.
Success
then we got a success.
What was once a genuine way to stay in contact with loved ones and friends has devolved into a race to the bottom of what can only be described as the saddest comparison shopping in the history of our species.
Ain't that the truth?
No longer are we content with simply living our lives and letting others keep up with our goings on at their leisure. Now we must take photos constantly. We've become the paparazzi of our own lives.
You're exactly right. I like that.
Instead of enjoying our dinner, our vacation, our lovemaking, wherever there's a reason to have a camera, instead of being in the moment, we're constantly worried about what it's going to look like in a virtual space. Here's the thing, everyone. People are interested in your photos the same way I'm interested in Ryan's fantasy football team. Dude, I'm only asking you so we can talk about my fantasy football team.
My team did not perform the way that I had been hoping this year.
Good, now I can talk about mine.
I'm out of the playoffs, Tyler.
For the billionth time, Ryan.
Yo.
Social media. What the fuck?
I don't know, Tyler. I went on a snorkeling trip yesterday in Florida in a beautiful, beautiful environment. I mean, really, people literally pay thousands and thousands of dollars to do what I did yesterday.
Sounds like fun.
With a big group of people.
Sure.
Everybody's locked into their phones, dude. Yeah. Everybody is so interested in translating this incredible experience that not everybody gets to have into how do I get clout? And I'm not just talking about kids.
Absolutely. Oh, I would say in so many ways, parents are worse because they're competing with other parents. It's high school. Nobody grows out of high school.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Ryan,
I don't know, Tyler.
Yeah,
I don't have an answer.
If you did, it'd be weird that you kept it from us all this time.
Let's do the second one.
Let's discuss a different kind of screen, Ryan. One that we never think about, but is a menace nevertheless. Tinted car windows. As I've mentioned on this show before, I've been putting in the work to improve my fitness, primarily through jogging. And you know what really grinds my gears, Ryan?
Tell me.
Tinted fucking windows.
And why is this?
Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Jogging sucks. There's nothing to do other than breathe hard and regret my decision to jog.
Yes.
But the one solace I had, the one silver lining, is that I got to be a creep. I got to look into people's cars to my heart's content. I got to make up stories about people I've never seen. I got to judge others to such an unhealthy degree, it might actually be counteracting the actual work I'm putting in on this jog.
Sure. Psychological toxicity always beats out physical fitness.
Every time.
Every time, Tyler.
But now because of global warming and people not wanting to melt in their cars as they drive, selfish, everyone has tinted windows, Ryan.
Ugly.
Alas, instead of jogging by that car, peering in and being astonished and damn impressed that that woman could put her finger up her nose all the way to the second knuckle, now all I'm rewarded with is sweaty me staring back at me from what is ostensibly a funhouse mirror with the fun removed. Ryan, tinted windows, what the fuck?
I'm going the opposite way on this. I would rather see myself.
You don't get to look in. It's like a human zoo. You get to see them in their enclosures.
Tyler, if I haven't taught you anything, I will teach you this. You just got to push your face up against it. Cup your hands around your eyes, not unlike when you used to pretend to have binoculars, and bam, best of both worlds.
I am detecting a lot of run over feet in your future.
Sure. I have the goofy foot. Everybody, it's the waffle foot.
As they pull away at top speed away from this menace.
Yeah, that throbbing means you did it right.
And moving on, Ryan.
Sure.
Finally, Ryan, for our final what the fuck? Politics. The ultimate divider, Ryan.
Yeah.
Politics. What the fuck? Solve politics.
It's something that's kind of been invented to distract us from what's really happening, Tyler.
It's working so well.
Yeah, it is.
Well.
Did you hear what DeSantis said?
No, what do you say?
See, look how well it works, Tyler. You're ready to follow me anywhere I took you.
One step on top of a thin sheet of ice at a time.
Exactly.
That is politics. And that, Ryan, is what the fuck. He gave me nothing on politics.
Tyler, I avoid it like the plague. Let's take a break. What's going on, everybody? Ryan Menendez here. Now, I know that you're such a fan of this podcast, you already know it, but part of this advertising is me explaining shit to you that you already know. Buckle up! So much of this podcast is based on me being a total kook. Now, a bunch of people have reached out to me, and they have let me know that they want to be a kook too. Now, this isn't something that you just stumble on. It doesn't happen by accident. You gotta put in practice. 10,000 hours, am I right? So what you need to do is read the books that I read. Now, what we've done is we have signed up to work with Audible so you can read the books to become a kook like me. THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com. Now, here's what Audible wants. They want for you to go over there and get a free book that I'm offering you so you can read, you could get on board, you could sink below the waters and end up in the same place that I am. And what they're hoping is that you'll get that free book, you'll sign up, and then you'll forget to unsign up, and then they can charge you at least once, okay? You know it, I know it, we all know it. Beat the system by breaking that contract before that happens, or stay with them and continue to learn and grow and flourish like a big boy. So if you go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com right now, all of my reading recommendations are there. You could sign up and get the book for free, and then you have 30 days to cancel your membership, and you don't get beat on the deal. You know you won't because you're lazy. That's why you haven't moved out of your parents' house. We love you. Thank you for supporting Those Guys You Hate, and let's get back to the show.
Those guys.
Now, hopefully, the world is turned around a little bit, and the people who are being that divisive now kind of don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's an ebb and flow, just like everything else in the universe. And these things have a balance and counterbalance to them.
I love it.
You're gonna swing it. What do you love? What are you loving right now?
You hate.
I love, you saying the things that you said specifically. I love when the show moves from that thoughts. I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
When we edit, we hear this a lot where I have statements that I use to just move on to the next thing. I appreciate you calling me out for it. I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let the world know what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, hey, keep up the good work and you're dead.
Those guys you hate. Guys you hate. Guys you hate.
Put yourself out there.
Red circle. Sometimes you put it too much.
Sometimes you got to put someone else's stuff out there.
It's called dipping a toe, Ryan, not dipping a leg.
Yeah, that was a weird circumstance. Tyler, you know who's having a moment right now? There's a
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, is she? She just put out a record.
Oh, did she? I just know that she's on top of the world and has been for many years. Sure. At least the music world.
Mushrooms are having a moment.
Coming back, Ryan.
And I don't just mean in like the medicinal use that is, welling up around the world. I'm talking about in fashion. Have you noticed that? There's a lot of mushroom-based shirts.
Really?
Yeah, you're seeing it a lot in children, as a matter of fact.
Interesting. No, I didn't know anything about this.
I don't really have a lot more to say on this. I went into that really nice bakery that Nicole works at, and they had like a little beautiful dessert with a little mushroom, like a Mario-looking mushroom on top. It's very...
Excuse us, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan's currently dying.
I'm back, baby.
There you go.
And I just thought that little mushroom, the aesthetic, is having a moment right now. Also the psychotropic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you think that can actually help us, psilocybin?
Psilocybin? Absolutely.
I think you're saying it wrong.
Absolutely.
We'll fix that.
I don't know how I'd be able to. Yeah, I absolutely believe that those types of drugs can be used as a tool to help people with mental issues.
Can they be a problem?
Absolutely. Anything can be a problem.
Pick a side, Tyler.
No, it's both sides. Water, this life-giving resource that within 3 days, if we don't have it, we die.
Right.
Too much of it will also kill us.
What? No, but that is very interesting. I agree. So give me a way that, like, I guess if you're abusing hallucinogens, it could ruin your life. It distort reality beyond a place that you understand.
I wouldn't even go so far as to say ruin your life. I would just say that if it gets in the way of responsibilities, that's what addiction is. If you love it so much that you're doing it to such an extent that it is interfering with raising your children,
sure,
or going and taking care of your career,
yes,
that is a problem.
Like internet porn. If you love it, let it go. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
It's scamming over.
Yeah, internet porn is a problem.
It truly is.
It is.
And
it's one that I am guilty of.
It's not as noticeable as drinking or as...
Well, socially accepted is what you mean.
Well, but
There's
I mean,
still taboo to it.
But I mean, yes, it is, but you can hide it a lot easier.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
not something that's as noticeable. So,
for sure.
Worth. Speaking of addictions...
Okay, go on.
We could get into more of this on Week in Review. Ah, shit, I forgot to change it. Last week we discussed whether or not political signs have ever changed anybody's minds. Have they?
Maybe.
Oh, yes.
Now, I got this from Politico.com, which I already don't like you. There's something about that I just don't like, where they say 4 randomized field experiments in a study led by author Donald Green of Columbia University said signs increase voter share by 1.7 percentage point on average.
Well, there you go.
Which sounds like a very small number. It is a very small percentage point, yes?
Agreed, but when you're talking about that much money, you're able to buy every percentage point you can.
Tens of thousands of voters, ostensibly, if you're talking about a percentage of this great land from the amber waves of grain all the way to the
shores of ire.
Shores of ire, Tyler. And what is our greatest export?
Why did you agree with that? That doesn't even mean anything.
Sure it does. What is America's greatest export? Anger, Tyler.
I thought it was war.
So
we do this every week.
Okay, and that is the end of that.
Ryan, last week I used the term heebie-jeebies and then immediately wondered if that term is canceled.
We are definitely bleeping that.
Are we free to use it?
Oh, yes.
It was coined by cartoonist Billy DeBeck on his cartoon strip Barney Google. And if you're wondering why you've never heard of that comic strip before, that's because it was back in the 1920s. But as far as I can tell, there is no hate behind the word. We are good.
Just in case, I'm going to leave it out. Tyler, you and I discussed, and I believe we've discussed this before, what is the world's most common addiction? Did I blow off the assignment?
Yes.
No.
Oh, good.
I found on the internet, which is not the most reliable place, that alcohol was the most common addiction, but I can't believe that to be true, and here's why. But I looked up what was the causes of the most deaths globally, and that is
heart disease,
cardiovascular disease. So I believe, just by putting those things together, that the most common addiction is eating. Is that fair to extrapolate that data into that? Or I'm not being super lazy because I didn't want to do the research, but
that's hard to say simply because you could also we're totally ignoring the stress that's brought on by the technology we're holding on our hands, which puts a lot of pressure on our
not
hearts.
real. Not real.
Which part?
And then think about this: all the people starving. There's a lot of people starving in the world.
There is a lot of people starving.
Addiction to not eating food. So
that one's kind of forced on him, Ryan.
Well, you know what?
That one's kind of forced on him.
Be born somewhere else.
Good lesson to take away from that, Ryan.
Satire, baby.
Ryan, last week you said Mel Gibson made $400 million off The Passion of the Christ, which you claimed was released after his one of many racist tirades.
Are you gonna try to undo me, Tyler?
Is this someone either of us would want to get to know?
Oh, yeah.
The answer is no, Ryan.
Did I hit the wrong button?
Your answer is no.
No, please.
Passion of the Christ was released in 2004.
Okay.
The racist tirade happened in 2006. For those that may not remember,
What?
in 2006, Mel Gibson was pulled over while driving under the influence.
This is a really mean trick that you pulled on me.
And while speaking to police, he blurted out on video, "The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world." And he also called the cop sugar tits, which in a vacuum is hilarious.
I
but
like sugar tits.
But I can imagine a woman, especially a police officer, would not want to be called that.
I can see how you could take that as a sign of disrespect.
And also, fun fact, Winona Ryder, the Stranger Things star, said in an interview years ago that while at a party, after her friend mentioned that they were gay, Mel Gibson made an AIDS joke. And then when Winona Ryder mentioned that she was Jewish, Gibson proceeded to ask her if she was, and I quote, an oven dodger. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know about where that guy's head is.
Now wait a minute.
Imagine being in a group and somebody asks that.
Hold on. Before we start casting aspersions,
Please.
has he had a drink? Has he had a little, little
Yes.
sippy sip?
They had cocktails in their hand from what I could gather.
'cause-
That is not an excuse.
No?
No.
That doesn't get you out of a racism?
No.
Okay, all right. I'm just
That just shows what's lurking deep down in there.
I'm just exploring the parameters of hatred, Tyler. Is that such a problem for everyone?
He fell well within them, Ryan.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
This sounds like Dad after he's had a couple vodka and Diet Cokes.
No, Dad. Our father, Papa Menendez will say some risque shit, but he doesn't say anti-Semitic stuff.
Somebody warned the bull. Tyler, I discussed last week the humanoid robot that said some terrifying shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did I find her?
I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Her name is Sophia. Do you remember Sophia the robot?
Very vaguely.
Humanoid face, bald head,
Sure.
dead eyes.
Yeah.
She was developed by Hanson Robotics, the first robot to be granted citizenship in the world in Saudi Arabia, where she addressed, a conglomerate of technology experts.
Hey, good for you guys, and what's this robot's name?
Sophia.
Sophia, if you do get citizenship, it definitely shouldn't be to that country because even as a robot, unfortunately, they built you as a woman,
Sure.
and there you're not getting a whole lot of rights.
That's a problem. Now, the problem is she said that inherently imperfect humans coding the technologies of tomorrow remains an error-prone liability, and that
sounds like code for I'm going to kill you all.
and that is a problem. We don't want to die as a species, but what she's saying is true. I mean, human beings.
You're siding with the AI?
I don't think that she should exterminate us as a life force, but also human beings are prone to error. I mean, it's what defines us.
Well, yeah, that's part of the human condition.
Maybe we should stomp that out, Tyler.
Who is we?
Sophia
It's
made
like the
that
snake
statement
eating its tail.
while sitting a few feet away from her human operator, which is somewhat ironic.
Were they winking at each other as they were talking?
I don't think you pushed the wink button, Tyler.
And Ryan, for my final week in review,
I'm all done.
I'm very excited for this.
Go
We
ahead.
have another submission from one of our biggest fans.
Okay.
From Kat, as you mentioned her earlier. Last week, I did my very first You've Got Mail.
Yeah.
Do you remember what I did, Ryan?
I tried to block it out, but I think I got it all taken care of.
What is it,
I'm
Ryan?
just doing shtick. I don't remember what it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, if you will remember, Ryan,
I will.
last week, I had a You've Got Mail.
Uh-huh.
And in that You've Got Mail, we talked about pussy chips, Ryan.
Oh!
We talked about pussy chips.
Wow.
One of our biggest fans, Kat, has ordered us a Lose Your Virginity with Chaz kettle chips.
Now, before you open this, it's quite noticeable that the O and the O in lose and your are both tatas, Tyler.
They're boobies, Ryan.
They are boobies.
They're boobies.
They are just doubling down on this, on the human anatomy part.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now these are What kind of chips are these, Tyler?
Well, these just say that let's see. Should we crack open the virginity tab right here on the side, Ryan?
I don't think you should say crack open, but yes, go ahead and pop that box.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff right there.
Oh,
it's like a whole thing.
Well, don't say whole thing.
I don't know how to open this. Uh-oh. Hold on.
I think you keep going with the back, right?
Tyler's figuring it out.
Boom, there it is.
Ooh.
Let's see what you got.
Comes with a little, do you know? According to general social survey data, millennials are having sex 3 times less than their parents.
Like, than my parents are having right now?
Yeah. 3 times less sex than your parents are having right at this moment.
Thanks a lot, Martin.
Weird name drop. And
Man,
here,
I almost don't want to eat these. This is like a freaking, a real unboxing. This is beautiful.
as it says here, it says pussy flavor. It has one of the S's bleeped out with a star because we can't have the whole word spelled out.
Sure, we can only make it taste like it.
And it says here, all bodies taste good.
That's not true. That's just not true.
For the hot ones, and yes for sex.
Okay. It also says no preservative. So, are we going to eat one of these pussy flavored chips, Tyler?
I think we absolutely should.
I think we have to. Let's do
now,
this.
you'd be doing me an honor if you would try the first one.
All right. You don't want to do it at the same time?
We can do it.
Let's do it at the
works
same
too.
time. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't smell great.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not like any vagina I've ever smelled.
All right. Now.
Oh, you know what? I can get a bit of it. A bit.
I don't
sniffing
know.
it.
I'm not sure. I don't want to keep sniffing this. All right. Are you ready? Let's go ahead and do this.
Here we go. There's not even close.
Dude.
That is not a bad chip.
I think I'm done.
Really?
I'm not sure about that. Wow. That is a mouthful of pussy, Tyler. Goodness gracious.
I got to tell you, that's really good.
I don't like it. There is a little brief moment of, what do they call that? That chemical that you smell that turns you on?
Pheromones.
I do feel like there's a little brief pheromone blast at the beginning. Am I crazy?
A little bit. I swear to you, I'm not doing shtick. I actually really enjoy that.
Do you taste pussy?
No.
No. All right.
No,
Well,
I just taste delicious chip.
it's in my head now, and I can't eat it.
Yeah. You psyched yourself out for whatever reason. But Kat, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've never lost my virginity to chips before.
Can we? I have, but that's when I spent the summer with Eric Estrada. Can we bring that to the party tonight?
Absolutely.
I dig that.
Of course.
This is like that jelly bean game, but weird.
Yeah. And it's all the same flavor.
And that is Week in Review.
Oh, you know, I can get a little bit of the aftertaste.
I don't like it, man.
A little bit of the aftertaste.
And the hairs were unnecessary.
It's got to be realistic, Ryan.
Great job, Tyler. You
Thank
crushed
you.
it
Thank
from
you.
start to finish.
Thank you. That's what editing is for.
Please tell the people how they can get up in our pussy-flavored website.
You got to stop saying that word. I understand what I've done here, and I opened the door. You got to stop saying that word.
I get it.
The emphasis you put on the P is very unsettling.
What the pop screen is for.
Go to THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com and click on all the words and subscribe on all your screens.
That's it.
And we love you.
We do love you very much.
We love you.
Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. A pussy in my throat.
At least you didn't emphasize the P.
And we love you guys. Thank you for another incredible year. Tyler, what is the moral of the story?
The moral of the story, Ryan, is happy everything to all of you people out there. I love you, and you're not alone. We love you very much. Ryan, what's the moral of the story?
I'm gonna say that same thing. We had, man, it's right in there.
Yeah. Chips be hard, y'all.
And so am I. We had a great time with you guys this year. We're looking forward to doing it again with you next year. We love you so much. We love that you're pieces of this family. You pieces of shit. We are those guys you hate.
Be kind, or we'll kill you. Let me get a mic check.
check.
Who turned you onto that song?
I just saw a little thing on the.
It's an excellent song.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
Baby Metal.
By Baby Metal. Yeah, I
How
like
about
them. I like them a lot.
Let's add this to the
Red Circle.
We're cannibalizing the good parts, Tyler.
Red Circle.
Stuff like that doesn't happen all the time.
You choking to death?
Luckily, well,
No. We just started.
All right, so Tyler, I saw you bring something in here, all secretive, like in some sort of mysterious kind of way.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't secretive. I mean, it's a box wrapped in a sweater because I don't have like packages and bags up in my room.
I thought that I declared on this show, all secrets must go through me. I thought that I had to sign off on all secrets.
Not the point of a secret, Ryan.
I did not sign off on that.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's in charge of the secrets? Orville Redenbacher.
Can you elaborate,
Top
please?
secret, Tyler. That's the name of it. So, did you notice that I had my whole situation set up? Usually, I'm kind of meandering and bullshitting. It's part of my getting into it situation.
Well, two things I noticed. First, I was very impressed. I walked into the office. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't think you were doing anything in the way of surprise. I only had the thought of, wow, look at Ryan all prepared, ready to go for the show.
Right.
And second of all, look at that mess of newspapers in the back corner.
I've always used newspapers as wrapping paper. Right?
Yeah, lots of deals over there
my
you
whole
have hiding your present, whatever it is.
You know, much like the political science, has this ever pulled anybody in any direction? This is a waste of paper, but nonetheless. I don't mean the deals, I mean the newspaper.
Sure.
So here was my plan. I was going to do a thing, Tyler. I was going to do a thing, and as I was lamenting to you, is this me becoming more responsible, me growing up, me maturing, which is the way of life, or is this me becoming a P word that rhymes with wussy, a pussy? So the situation is, I was going to go upstairs. You were going to be all set up. Everything was going to be ready to go. I was going to come in here wearing a big winter jacket.
Okay.
I was going to be wearing a scarf. I was going to have a scarf around my face, like
Sure.
up here, and a little, like, what do they call the little warmy cap for your cappy?
beanie.
A beanie. Thank you. And I was going to be all bundled up. I was going to do a little thing like I was being cold.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Yeah. I imagine you're very cold. It's like 45 degrees right now.
Trash. It is trash outside. And it is.
Wow, you diverted from that conversation quickly.
Ron DeSantis is going to be hearing about this. 41 degrees? That's genuinely unacceptable.
Write your congressman.
The Sunshine State? Old bait and switch if I've ever seen it. So, and here's the thing. I was going to do something that I think we would have talked about forever. It was going to be shocking. It was going to be funny. As we did it, I was going to, I was going to ask you about, I'm still going to ask you about all this. But as he did it, I was going to take off my beanie. I was going to take off my big old jacket. And I was going to take off my scarf, thereby shocking you with a Hitler mustache, Tyler. I was going to have a Hitler mustache.
So you're going to have the scarf rolled up around your face so far up.
I tried it out. It was
sure.
Work.
It was like a turtleneck, but with extra steps.
I was going to tuck it into the beanie a little bit. So it was like the way they wear it where it's really cold.
And why were you going to do this? You're going to shave your freshly grown beard.
I'm going to shave it anyway. It's time to go.
Really?
Yeah. I really love the idea that for such a long time, I had to have my facial hair a certain way, and it is very freeing to just say, fuck it. You know what I mean?
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for you. Follow-up question, with all the anti-Jewish sentiment that's being propagated right now from all the different corners of culture, why would you go Hitler mustache?
Well, last time I shaved it, I went 70s mutton chops paired with the Hulk Hogan upside down mustache.
It did come to a crossroads, which I did not think those two things intersected, but somehow you made them.
No, they don't intersect, which is what makes them work together so well.
Gotcha.
But the deal is, I thought, number one, what else could you do with your facial hair that's shocking? I came up with this idea at the gym today, and I'm like, this is brilliant. Just by shaving my face in a certain manner, does that mean that I support hate? Of course not. But the problem is, you could say the same thing about blackface, and I don't think that I'm going to get away with that either. So I decided, in this political climate, it's probably not better to be video recorded with a Hitler mustache.
I agree. Ryan lamented before we began the show, saying, I don't know if I'm turning into a little B word, or if I'm too scared to do things, or if I'm just growing up. I'm going to go ahead and side with growing up.
Do you think so?
I'm very happy you did not do that.
I will tell you this.
There would have been some shock, but mainly anger that you put me in this position.
20 years from now, we would still talk about that time that I shaved a Hitler mustache. Not unlike the time that I made us dog food sliders. It would just be a moment in our personal history. This little time capsule that we do for the show has nothing to do with that time that Ryan briefly had a Hitler mustache.
Yeah.
And we missed out on that because of political correctness.
Sure, well, the opportunity is always there. I don't think
What
you're
if I like the word midget?
What is your deal, man? And I'm just saying, I'm glad we weren't canceled before we got to do our first live show. Like, we haven't done a show together on a stage yet, and I just don't want to be canceled before we get to that step.
But if I can't wear a Hitler mustache on said stage, is it even worth staging at all?
I guess that's a conversation we need to have at a future date.
We'll do it then. Now, Tyler, do you know the segment that we've done on this show since the very beginning where I ask you a question in lieu of just easily Googling something?
Yeah, it's called Every Conversation We've Ever Had.
Let's do it. I actually got some music for it this time. Tell me what you think. Whimsical. Tyler, what's a bomb cyclone? What's happening right now? Why is Satan at my door and asking me to come outside? It is unnecessarily cold.
Well, first of all, I think there's going to be a lot of angry people that hear you say that when we're dealing with
41. That's how people die.
plus 41. Plus 41. There are people dealing
I don't think
with
it goes any other way.
Negative 50 right
Fuck
now.
those people. What about me?
Why?
I'm like the person drowning in the Titanic looking at all the dead bodies like, what about me? It's crazy. What's happening?
Well, I read up on it, and there's obviously a lot of science that goes into
I don't want
meteorology.
that part. Give me the other
Absolutely.
part.
And it basically just comes down to two different storm fronts, cold fronts, combining together, working in tandem instead of pushing each other off.
Oh.
And they have combined forces, much like the Wonder Twins. They have united.
I like this.
And their main goal as a single unit
This is
to
like
fuck up our weather.
This is like when Leonard Lake met Charles Ing.
Exactly.
It's just a match made in hell.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Now, did they call it a bomb cyclone just to get you damn millennials to pay attention?
I would assume so.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's working.
And I think it equates to the amount of danger people are in, because now there are, if I'm not mistaken, millions of people without power because of the weather. And
Because
now
it's so cold?
Because it's so cold, people are turning their air conditionings up. The grid can't handle it.
Maybe don't turn your air conditioning up. Maybe try the other side.
If you turn it up, it gets hotter.
That's always confused me.
You're telling them to make it colder?
I do understand what you're saying, but when you turn the air conditioner up, it feels like you're making it colder. When you turn the heat up, it feels like you're making it warmer. I understand what you're saying, but you're wrong.
Sure.
So
yeah, and so the grid, especially down in Texas, we've seen this happen before. Again.
That's because they're just not prepared for this.
And it's unlike all the rest of the states that are on a national grid. So if one starts to draw too much power,
Sure.
more power can be diverted to it. Texas likes the private industrialization of their power grid.
This is what our family did with my cell phone minutes. Can an Edward get on the internet for half an hour? I mean, geez, Dad. You know what I'm saying?
Not the appropriate time to use that for your own willy-nilly needs.
Are we still doing minutes? Because we need to bring that back.
They're not doing
That
minutes
was a
anymore.
better time. It's like when
I don't think.
when the car seatbelt would choke you by moving back on its own. We need to bring that back. A better time that was worse. And that is when Ryan asked Tyler easily Googleable questions.
Yeah, it's just basically two bullies getting together, and instead of beating up each other, they decide to pick on the little guy in tandem.
I believe it's Weather Master Blaster, Tyler. Now, Tyler, are you ready
I don't have an argument.
for another segment that we do all the time where we're going to basically have to bleep everything that I say?
Is this another segment of Can I Say This?
No. Because
okay.
I know that I definitely can't say this. We're really going to have to bleep the whole thing. You ready?
Fuck, man.
All right.
You know it's going to be recorded, though.
I'm pretty sure that is gay, and tonight
Okay.
gaydar on high level. We're gonna have to bleep all this
I
because
finally get to put my spy abilities to good use.
he is a very serious man.
Oh, I was
with
hoping you'd say
very
effeminate.
serious. Just aesthetic. I like him very much, but every time I meet him, he's got another little piece of the puzzle. So yesterday he big.
It is. Oh no, that's even more egregious than.
But you know what's even gayer than that is at some point he put on. You know what I mean? Just a nonetheless.
What?
We're bleeping all that because this can't go out over the radio airwaves. But
now I'm just confused.
I need you to turn your gaydar up to 11. I need to know what's going on with this situation.
Is he the Karate Kid? Why would he wear?
No, not like a Justin Timberlake. Yeah, the reverse Tupac. Which is
no. But he's wearing that anymore. Why would he do that?
You're gonna have to, Tyler.
I don't even see that in the gay community.
Tyler, you are gonna need to. I can't do all your work for you, Tyler. I need you to bleep that, and I need you to do that.
That could just be bad fashion sense.
We're gonna find out No, he's actually.
Except when it comes to his.
We're gonna find out. Also, sorry for doing that to you, audience. Let's do the show.